phone voicemail service for 07769247196. Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, Mr. Browell. It's Mr. Hussein here, once again leaving yourself another daily message like a broken record. Been leaving you daily messages since the end of August when my brother was when last kidnapped from my care on the 8th of August 2024. And as you can see that nothing's really developed, has it? All you've really done is utilize the police to put me on a police bail. Or so you could remove my brother from my care, because the care cost was obviously more than you could are willing to pay for or afford, and therefore you've kidnapped my brother now for the last 294 days. I'm just conscious of the fact that it was 234 days that you had kidnapped my mother, under much the same circumstances. You, the local authority, had kidnapped my mother in much the same circumstances. So it was 334 days. And now it's 294 days. So effectively, 40 days. In 40 days' time, it's going to be exactly the same amount of time that you've kidnapped my brother as you have kidnapped my mother. And you've done that whilst taking 2 years in a court of protection matter where you had managed to buy off the senior justices and the Court of Appeal justices. But this time, you've not even had to do that. All you've got to simply do is just lie to the police, privately pay for them to commission their services to start an investigation against me for the last overnight or 294 days. And what's that investigation going to uncover? My neglect, or is it going to more importantly going to uncover your neglect? As a local authority, you were clearly neglecting my brother, and I highlighted this: your negligence and incompetence, and your need to save on costs are all expense, and to target and victimize me and the money that you'd stolen. So now we are here 294 days later, and the investigation is now not even on police bail. It's just never ending. I can't see my brother under these present circumstances, because I need to know what the actions you've taken are lawful and justified. You cannot ask me to now comport to your standards or rules when the foundations are unlawful and illegal. I believe. What legal framework have you used to take my brother from my care? It's a simple question. What law have you used? Because it's not the Mental Health Act. It's clearly not the Court of Protection orders. You've not instigated any Court of Protection proceedings. The whole thing stinks, or is rotten, and it stinks to the core. And all I can really do in my limited circumstances is to ask you to engage with me. I mean, obviously you, the local authority, have the ability to buy off all the NHS services, all the Ministry of Justice services, all the Department of Work and Pension services. It is you have the ability to buy off my even nearest relatives and stuff. So you have the ability to buy everybody off using public money that you're collecting in council tax, in order to then fiddle the books, in order to target and victimize individuals like such as myself, who are looking to whistleblow on your systemic failures in adult social care. Here we are several months later, decades later actually, because I remember I'm reminding myself that you initially looked to take control of the situation back in 2012 when you removed the direct payments, and then within a period of a couple of months you put my brother in a car accident, and then got West Yorkshire Police to help you cover that up. So you put my brother in a car accident, that's when the relationship deteriorated. You were not in a position to care for my brother over a decade ago in 2012, and what makes you think you're any better in order to provide care for my brother now, especially when you're facing bankruptcy yourself? You've basically taken my brother from my care home rather than engage with me, rather than find a resolution, because I believe that you, Mr. Browell, were supposed to write out to us with a proposal, and rather than putting a proposal forward, what you ended up doing is the local authority ended up doing an act of villainy and tyranny, rather than treating us with the dignity and respect that we deserved. You had been working closely to get his medical records. You basically removed him from his place of residence without his consent, and you've just basically incarcerated him now. This is quite clearly all you're doing. This is simply because you can't do your jobs properly. You know what the laws of deprivation of liberty are. You have the deprivation of liberty officers. Yeah, so you could deliberately voluntarily commit these acts of villainy and tyranny and hope to get away with it. It's simply ridiculous. I'm ringing you up every single day and leaving you a voice message asking you to give me a simple answer. It's a very simple answer. Tell me what law you've used to take my brother from my care. And safeguarding is not a law. That's just you telling lies, saying that I was neglecting my brother when quite clearly I had been contacting you and raising complaints and trying to go through all the policies and procedures that you have in place, the safeguards that you have in place. There is no safeguards. It's all pure gangsterism. You kidnapped my brother in order for you to win the council to win the county court case that you had commissioned the housing association to pursue as your proxy agents because it didn't comport with your previous actions in my mother's case. It's all related, and now when you look to compartmentalize things, it's quite clearly by design and malevolence and malfeasance that you're doing these actions of villainy and tyranny against us. All I'm simply asking you to do is just tell us what legal framework you've used. As you can see, previous to my brother's abduction, my brother even asked you how much money has he got. So before we were in the situation of you not even telling us how much money he's got, and now you've geniusly thought of an idea of dissipating that money by kidnapping my brother. You're making it 10 times worse. And like I said, all that's going to happen now is my brother's going to be murdered in your custody.
15 seconds recording time remaining.
Like I said, Mr. Browell, all that's going to end up happening now, my brother's going to be murdered in your care and custody like you've murdered all the other family members, and I'm going to charge you £1 billion. You don't even have £1 billion. But the government clearly does. You're going to end up murdering people. Why are you violating my brother's rights? What are his rights under?
Your recording time has expired. To leave your message, press 1.
It's all lies.
Message sent.
All lies and deceptions, deceiving and controlling and manipulating people in order to maintain the narrative and objective that they're caring and egalitarian.